Hi, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and I am super excited about this one. Today is launch day, so we're into a 24-hour window, and what I'm doing, or what I have done, is kind of taken it to the next level again with regards to the photo reading training, because I know people are often saying they wish they lived closer, and what a shame they can't make it. So what I'm going to be doing with this one is launching a global video webinar training. So that means you can pretty much participate in real time. We'll be in the webinar room. You have the facility to chat like you would chat here on Facebook Live in the chat room. There's also the facility for you to turn on your microphone. So if you have questions, if you have queries, and I'm also going to set it up that if you want to, you can also turn on your webcam so that we would see you, and you can participate like that. So it's the first time I've done this. In terms of the closest thing I've got to it so far is creating the one-day photo reading online video DVD, and people have taken that and said it felt as though they were actually in the room with us, and they had exactly the same experiences watching the DVD from home as they did for those people who are actually in the room. So I know that the format already works, even when you're kind of watching it almost passively. And with this one, for those people who want to join us live, and I'll be running it in October, towards the end of October, then you have the ability to really participate in real time. And of course, if you can't make it, the beauty of it is you can catch up and go back and rewind things if there's anything you want to review, if there's anything you want to see in more detail. So that is fantastic as well. So yeah, so it launched at 8 a.m. this morning, so UK time, BST. We're currently in British summertime, and it has been a little bit warmer today, which is lovely. And so that will run until tomorrow morning. So what I'm doing with that, in terms of the kind of the way that I've set it up, not that one, although while we're about it, people have attended and said it's the, this person saying it's the best personal development course they've ever attended, hands down. Ignore the 20% off, that was for a particular time, and if you're booking early, then that's what will happen. But with this one, what it is, during the launch period, so we've got just under 14 hours left now. It's $350 if you wanted to take part. The full price for this is $750, so it's a fabulous opportunity if you wanted to just jump in and do it. And of course, as I said, you'll get the recording even if you can't make the day, and it might be that you want to dip in and out. What I'm also doing is setting up a few kind of touch point quizzes and a bit of home play afterwards, so you'll complete that online just to make sure you've got it and you've understood the principles and the practices and how to do it and what you're doing and all of that. So I'll explain more to those of you who have signed up, but with the platform I'm using, I've got the facility to deliver handouts into the room, so I can hand those out in real time as we go along and do the exercises. So yeah, really excited. And I know people often wonder about this one, and it has so many benefits. If you've been around me for a while, you would have heard me talk about the wonderful Kay Westmoreland, who was brain damaged as a result of a plane crash 7 years before attending the photo reading workshop. And by the end of the 2.5 days, she was completely transformed, and the effects of the brain damage just completely disappeared. And that wasn't just her presupposition, other people noticed as well and commented on it, as in, what happened to you? Or, oh my god, you're back. So there have been some really wonderful things like that. And also you often have people with dyslexia, dyspraxia. I've had people with autism, I've had people with brain inflammation. I've had myself, when I first came across photo reading, I'd been diagnosed with what was thought to be early onset Alzheimer's. So I've seen it work in some really incredible ways. And what I always say to people is just imagine what you can do with it from a head start, because a lot of people are not coming into it with those kinds of learning challenges or anything that's actually wrong with them. So it's always fantastic for that. I think people are also always surprised at how far-reaching it is in terms of, so the person who was saying that it's the best personal development course they've ever attended, hands down. He was someone who worked in IT and was expecting just to come to learn to read faster, and so was just blown away and pleasantly surprised by everything else that happened thereafter. And it's also one that I think surprises people in terms of the way that it can impact their life. So this is a testimonial from someone who said this after experiencing, because on the Friday night the workshop itself, the way I run it, and I probably run the similar sort of time format for the online virtual training, as we do 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. on Friday, and then from 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. I do a bonus HUNA and Access Consciousness Belief Change session. So this was a lovely lady called Parvinder Wahiwala. Some of you might know her husband, Suki Wahiwala. And she said, talk about grabbing the bull by the horns. When you did the HUNA healing on me, oh my God, I couldn't believe how accurate your diagnosis was. You didn't tell me you were a doctor as well as everything else. And what she's referring to there is, I'm going around and doing the HUNA, a bit like some of you would have experienced if you've done any of, like, let's say, taken part in the Angel Tarot and HUNA teleseminars or webinars. There are times where you just get a sense of something, or you go to a particular area to clear it, and people are always just blown away, because just by looking at them you would never have been able to tell what was going on. So that's always really exciting as well. And I think it's that extra HUNA piece that allows people to feel that deep sense of transformation, because I've had people arrive on the Friday night with all their stresses, all their worries, all of their anxieties, and they've gone home on the Friday evening and their families have noticed the difference. They have felt the difference. They've gone back into their daily life on the Monday, because we run it, we run Friday afternoon and then 9:30 to 6:30 on a Saturday and Sunday, and people have gone back into their life on the Monday, and people have noticed, and people have commented, and they've actually gone, oh my God, I feel so much more confident. I'm so much more on the ball. I am able to, do X, Y, Z. So it's always really incredible how fast it happens. And I know that a lot of that is accelerated by the HUNA and Access Consciousness piece that we do on the Friday. Because, I remember I had a woman who attended, flew in from Eastern Europe, didn't really speak to any of us on the Friday, sat in the corner, sort of did the exercises, but really wasn't up for much participation. She came in on the Saturday just beaming, absolutely beaming, and declared that she'd had a conversation with someone on the way there, which for people who, fairly outgoing, that's not a big deal, but for her it was just miraculous. And then on the Sunday somebody had asked her directions, and because she'd at that point traveled to and from Watford twice, she was able to help them, and she was just like, oh my God, I don't know what's happened to me. And when she flew home the next day, she played that pat a cake game on the plane, because she had to be sitting next to a child, and normally that would have been her worst nightmare. And then the big thing for her was when her parents picked her up from the airport to drive her back, and she said it's a very long drive, and it's a torturous drive, always is, because they just don't have anything to talk about. She said it was just the most wonderful journey, and that was all in the space of 2.5 days. So it's kind of miraculous and really incredible. So if you wanted to join us, actually I should have put the link in. Let me see, do a bit of multitasking. Oh, cool, thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts, that's amazing. Let me just see if I can do a little bit of multitasking, talk amongst yourselves for a moment, because it's not a quick URL. So let me PhotoReading online certification training. Cool. And just a bit of Q&A as well, because I know people have been asking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this is the link. So I'm going to just drop that into the chat thread. Yep. So that will appear in the chat thread now, if any of you kind of are interested. So hi Eric, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry, the chat has only just appeared. So that the link, if you wanted to join us, is in the chat thread, and that $350 price. And I've done it in dollars because this one is global. I know I'm probably going to have people from the UK joining as well and taking part. However, I know that a lot of people who live abroad, they hear me talking about photo reading, they see my clients sharing their testimonials about how incredible it is. And so I know a lot of people live abroad and they find it easier to deal in US dollars. So I've set it up for US dollars. And it just means that you guys in the UK get a better deal in terms of, if you look at the number and they go, hey, I can take some off that. So that's very cool. So that's where you can kind of book if you wanted to do that. And also I had somebody who, let me see if I can find that, it's on my testimonials document. I had somebody, oh, this is it. So the lovely Annika, some of you might know her, you might have seen the post, but she wrote a really nice testimonial today and shared the link. She said, for everyone who has ever wanted to do this training, now is your chance. It can't get easier or better priced than this. She's absolutely correct. Study from the comfort of your own home, exclamation mark. I really liked the live training, and it would have been a lot easier to do it from home. Traveling to and from Watford and staying there for a couple of nights do add up, both in terms of time and money. And she's absolutely right, because what this means is, because oftentimes with the photo reading, because it's 2.5 days and we finish at 8 on a Friday, people often treat it as just a really nice weekend away, which is incredible. And I'm not going to tell you how people feel after the photo reading training, because I don't want to put any thoughts into your head. I like people to experience it for themselves. However, it is nice when you can kind of relax in between times. But that in of itself will probably save you several £100s in terms of the travel and in terms of the hotel accommodation, in terms of, you know, buying your lunch and buying your dinner. So yeah, there are some really great savings to be had over and above just the launch price. So that window is open for the next 24 hours. We went live this morning at 8 a.m. It's now currently 7 p.m., just gone 7 p.m. in the UK. So you've got another, 13 hours at this point if you wanted to get that deal. And that really is just for the launch price. So yeah, and then up thereafter it's $750, but it's going to be worth every penny, I guarantee it. And a few things that are coming up in the next couple of days. Tomorrow, my God, time really flies. Tomorrow it's the Practitioner Insider Secrets Workshop. I'm running that one also as a global online webinar training. And that's really me sharing how to go from a blank sheet of paper to creating your own events, whether it's teleseminars, whether it's webinars, whether you want to design workshops. So I'm going to be sharing with you the process I do for that and how to go from blank piece of paper to launched event with delegates in just 9 hours. Also going to share with you some of the technology and the platforms I use and how to use those. We're going to talk about you know, the things that you maybe wouldn't think of when you're organizing and running your own events, which is why it's called Practitioner Insider Secrets, because there's often a lot you've been going on, because even when you organize events, there are things that you will creep up on you even when you think you've covered all of your bases. And I've been in event management for 30 years now and running my own events for the past 18 years, so there's a lot that I've kind of picked up along the way. I'm also going to be doing some think tank sessions, so working on your ideas. And I had people who attended last time, went out, you know, launched their own events. One of them has just actually launched a physical product, so that is absolutely amazing. Actually, let me find that one for you as well. Let me find that. I'll drop the link in for that as well, and you can also see some of the previous feedback from, you know, attendees, etc. But one of them, I think she put it really nice. She said if there was, you know, there couldn't be a better gift that you could give to yourself. But this is really for coaches, trainers, practitioners, consultants who I see sitting on a wealth of information and they are just not using it. They're just not utilizing it. They're just not, you know, bringing it to the forefront. So that's what that one's about. And this is, of course, another one, global training in the palm of your hand. And I say that because when I ran the Money Breakthrough video webinar, we had somebody taking part and typing into the chat and all of that as she was carrying a mobile phone and walking across a field. So, you know, I'm really loving this thing of being able to let people participate from anywhere in the world. And the Practitioner Insider Secrets, I'm running that in 2 parts. because I had to choose a date, obviously, and go, this is when it is. So we're going to do the first session tomorrow. We start at 4 p.m. UK time, so we run 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. And then for part 2, I'm going to, speak to you, because we've got various time zones, and then choose a date and a time for part 2 that everybody can make if they want to do it live. And of course, the recording is there. So yeah, that's that. And oh yes. For those of you who are in my membership group, we have the membership group, the first accountability call tonight in 45 minutes. I better get my skates on because I need a bit of dinner. So we got the accountability call 45 minutes tonight. You've got a couple of ways again, because I'm using the same platform. So you can either just log in and type, as you would with Facebook Live. You can activate your microphone, or you can activate your webcam, and you've got a number of ways of kind of getting in touch with that. But what I thought it might be nice to do, and it's something I'm checking out for lifetime members, it's all very well, talking about what you're going to do and writing all these lovely posts, but actually one of the things I've discovered with my photo reading mastermind groups is there is such tremendous power in accountability. Because one of the things I noticed from the very first time I ran the very first photo reading mastermind group, and I run them as a 6-month program, so once a month for 6 months we get together via teleseminar, and people share what's been going on for them, where they're at, asking questions, of course, clarifying things, and then we set the intention and the purpose for the coming month. And people often didn't remember what they'd said in terms of their intention, but when we came to do the accountability update, they'd done that and so much more. And so I know there is a collective power in, I'm always talking about speak it into existence. You guys know that if you followed me for a while, but it's incredible. And we talk about the ethos of the mastermind and how that it's almost like tapping into Jung's collective consciousness. So it's powerful stuff. So I thought it might be a really to do. Tonight's open for everyone, regardless of whether you're a monthly member, annual member, or lifetime member. But there are going to be some things coming on stream this year which are for lifetime members. It's just nice to do something nicer for them, given that they've just kind of committed to being a member for life, which is lovely. So tonight we go live shortly with the accountability call. You don't have to have done anything in particular to prepare. We've got a very simple agenda, just 3 kind of key points, but they are really powerful. So we go live with that shortly. Hello, Caroline. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. That is amazing. So yeah, that's it. But yeah, I thought I'd throw in a bit of sparkle as it's launch time. So if you have always wanted to learn how to photo read and you want to do it at an incredible price, seriously, it's just ridiculous. But I just thought, me, my mentor hates early booking prices and discounts. Sorry, Suki. But I always like to do something, I always like to do something like that just to get the ball rolling. And I know this is a new proposition for people as well, in terms of this style of training, but I can tell you it definitely works even when people are just watching the DVD. Some of you might have seen me talking about, and she's talked about it herself, Sita, who had failed her professional exams, was, her lecturer had said to her, maybe this, if you fail again, maybe this just isn't for you and you're not cut out for this. And she really felt she could do it, but of course she's feeling nervous and anxious, and she wasn't able to come to the photo reading workshop. So she did the 1-day online DVD and took herself through that, did the exam a couple of weeks later, and just said she was so calm, she was so relaxed, she remembered all of the information from her mind map, and it was just easy. And you guys will know we play with the easy buttons on the workshop for that reason. And she passed. And that was just from watching the DVD. So this one, we take it to the next level with this, because you're going to be able to interact as well. You're going to be able to, ask your questions. And so, yes, very, very, very excited. So this is the kind of information that you need. The launch price is for today only. It's on for 24 hours. It means you can do the whole photo reading, because people have been asking, is it the whole workshop? Yes, it is. We're going to be covering what we cover on my in-person 2.5-day training. With regards to the course materials, I figured, a lot of the course materials are now virtual, so you can have a virtual copy of the photo reading book, the photo reading playbook, the paraliminal CD, they're just so super cool, learning the easy way, the tips and insights CD, I can arrange to get all of that to you as downloads, so that's totally easy. Of course, there's the option for having that in physical form as well. You will need to book in advance for that. There's no point booking the day before and then going, oh, I'd like the books and stuff, please, because of course international shipping is involved. Course materials, as I said, with the platform I'm using, I can deliver handouts into the training room. There's also a whiteboard facility, so you know, it's going to be the next best thing to being in the room together. And those of you who joined the Money Breakthrough test webinar when I was first testing out the platform, seriously, it was like an online party, and nobody had their microphones on, nobody had their cameras on, they were all just typing in the chat room, but it was just freaking incredible. And that is when I ran that one, I was like, do you know what, there's mileage here, we could totally do this. And that's why then I decided to run the Practitioner Insider Secrets, and that's why, you know, this morning there was a thing that appeared in my email inbox, and I'm like, you know what, it's totally time, we can do this. So actually what I will do, let me see if I can find that one. What I'll do, if you haven't seen it, just to give you a sense of how it works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put into the conversation thread, let me drop that in there as well. So what the thread for this one is called Marilyn Devonish Money Breakthrough Program Test Webinar. So that one, it should just appear in the conversation thread as well. So if you want to get a sense, hey Sita, if you want to get a sense of how it all works, click on that link, watch the video. You have to put an email address in. I'm not adding it just needs an email address to register. I'm not collecting email names for a database. That's a whole different process. If you want to join my e-newsletter list, go to my website or go to my blog. There's a form you can fill in there, but it's just about kind of giving you access to it. But watch the Money Breakthrough test webinar to get a flavor of how the photo reading is going to be delivered. And also keep in mind that we're going to be next leveling it, because not only are we going to be chatting in the chat room for those that want to, it will be microphones and it will be webcams. So if you're at home in your PJs, you don't want anyone to see you, just use your microphone. And also, again, I'll say this in the joining instructions, but if you are on camera, then that will also be in the finished product. And what that means is anybody purchasing access to the recording, they'll see that interaction. So if you don't want to be on camera, if you don't want us to hear your voice, if you don't want it to go out into the final product, then you're going to use the chat room facility. But if you're cool with that, and don't mind being seen across the globe, then activate communication. So that's it for the launch. Next 24 hours, no, next 13 hours, if you want a launch price, that will be how you can get it. The link now is in the conversation thread. Super excited. So now I've got 40 minutes to go forth, get some food, and for those of you in the membership group, I will see you for the bonus accountability call. And let's get this thing moving for the final. Can you believe we're 2/3 through the year already? Next month we're going to be into the final quarter. That is just crazy. Oh, Tarot Tuesday is next week. I will be pulling a card for the month ahead, and I will be putting the thread up. So if you wanted an individual reading, then bear with me. Once I've done the accountability call and once I finish the prep for the Practitioner Insider Secrets tomorrow, I will put up the card for the month ahead, and then you guys can, of course, I know you guys are not shy in coming forward when you want an individual reading. So by the time I log into the membership group, no doubt somebody would have started a thread anyway. But if you haven't by then, Tarot Tuesday thread is coming, and that goes out via Facebook Live next Tuesday. Cool. Well, wishing you all an incredible weekend wherever you happen to be in the world. And for those of you who have always wanted to learn photo reading, whether it's just about, you know, reading faster, if you're doing, you know, it might be, and it's great for, you know, people who are kind of pre and postgraduate students, people doing professional exams. It may be that it's just a case of really keeping up to date and being able to read information and reports and assimilate and take on board what you've read, and then be able to remember, recall it, and utilize it, because there's no point collecting information if you can't utilize it. And it may be you're more on the esoteric side, where it's about improving your, you know, creativity, next leveling your intuition. So, you know, there are a number of reasons why people do it, and sometimes people just want to fall in love with books again, or on a practical level, get more done with less time, because the premise of photo reading is reading at 25,000 words per minute and being able to photo read a whole book from start to finish in 5 minutes. And trust me, when people often ask, how do I get so much done in a day? And a lot of that is down to photo reading. And in terms of course, the things I picked up over the years, so both of those will come into play tomorrow for the Practitioner Insider Secrets workshop, and then for the global photo reading certification training. So excited. Have a fabulous weekend. Look forward to working with those of you who are signing up. Amazing. And I will catch you all later. And thank you so much for the thumbs up and the hearts. Always appreciated, because Facebook Live can often feel like you're just talking to yourself. So always wonderful to have people interacting. So catch you all later. Bye-bye.